Hope everybody's doing okay tonight. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Animation for Fun live stream. My name's Frank Summers. Thanks for hanging out with me. If the audio is not good, please let me know. Lower my speakers. Let me pull this down just a little bit. It might be a little loud. Hey, touchy. Alright, so I'm going to switch over into Harmony. We're going to pick up where we left off. This guy right here. So we already have some, here's a rough model I was starting to work with. Whoa! There it is. Sometimes you have to touch the screen in order to get your palettes to load up, which is very awkward and strange. So let's just kind of pick up where we left off, huh? So we have some rough noodly type stuff going on here. And you cast this spell. And what I think I'd like to do this week is just kind of wow, this is kind of tight. Don't think I want these this close. I don't know what I was thinking on that one. Yeah, I definitely don't want these that tight. Let's space them out a little bit more. Something along those lines. Hope everybody's doing okay tonight. Hanging in there, I hope. I'm doing okay. Got a little bit of juice left in me. So I think the first thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to renumber these drawings. Drawings as frame, and I'm going to actually rename this. Whoops, please. Let me rename a layer, a column. Certainly not up there like that. So roughs. I'm going to call these loose roughs or first pass roughs. Element. I've never played with any of this stuff. And add another column, and we'll call this roughs. And see, this is something you can't do. I wish. Certainly, things in the column editor, I wish you could do. You do in the timeline. This just gives me a little more drawing room like this, a little more space to move around. So let's just work on some keys. There we go. And I'm going to use my light box. And maybe pull down the light table wash a little bit more. Give a little more wash. I don't particularly think those drawings are any good, however, they're serving a purpose. Let's lower my opacity here on this brush. Bring it down to like an 80 or 75. Okay, that should do. So I gave some thought too about this character. Pointy chin. push the head size a bit more too. See if we can do this. Change the angle of the head a bit. Just pull it back a little bit. Not really chatty tonight, sorry. So let's get this guy. I think I'd be happy tonight if I just got through a nice model drawing tonight that I can feel good about. So I guess it's spring break for most people. My son has spring break tomorrow. Okay, let's give this a really good look. You know, I feel like I like the energy of the original drawing, actually. I don't know if this is speaking to me. I don't know. Don't feel that. I'm not really feeling that. Let's see if we can pull out some more. Kind of like this arm straight, and this arm has a little bit of a bend to it, and the wrist has a bit of a bend to it. I kind of like that, and I like this angle here. Let's just try and see what we can find that we really like about the energy of that, and kind of bottle it. You know, maybe it's that his head is a little low. Pull that cranium mass up a little bit. Something along those lines, I think. It's got this pointy jaw that is underneath of all of the rigmarole. Yeah, I did a few studies this weekend of what I thought the models should look like. That big open mouth and wild eyes. And smaller pupils. Get that nose built out a bit more clearly, so there's not a lot of cheek. The idea of the wind blowing. It's kind of fun. Push this mouth a little wider, huh? Like this drawing is much better than this drawing, so we're just going to get rid of that entirely. I may even have to come back to it again at some point, but at least now I have a little bit of the energy that is this drawing. We can repeg this a little bit. Let's just maybe even do something like this. We could even kind of... We could take this whole layer probably. I'm not sure how this is going to work. Let's find out. I do have some animation where he's down low. This may or may not work. So if he's like down here, the first few frames, I might need to repeg some of this and just move it around a little bit better. Ooh. I wonder if it would be cool if there was a camera move on it then, now that I'm thinking about it. Something slight. More like an adjust. So maybe we should reset that and up here and kind of put this back to where it was. It's around here somewhere. Maybe a pouch or something here, I don't know. The camera can pan up a little bit, I guess. I don't know. Let's add a camera and find out. It's a slight adjust, something like that. We'll see. Whoops, where did my... like this drawing where he's just kind of like recoiling. Let's see if we can capture that spirit. You know, he's kind of catching himself. And he's got like a lot of flexibility to him. It's kind of funny. Pointy chin that's underneath of his beard. And this is where like maybe having a long map, maybe even longer here, could be kind of fun because the mouth first stretches and then it squashes like this. Ooh. Ooh, he's got this squish mouth. It's kind of fun. Maybe the hat is kind of this little pouch full of magical goodies, potions. Kind of picture this guy to be kind of like not strong, but like spindly. So like he's got musculature, but because you know he's out there, he's adventuring, so he's got some muscle, but it's very spindly. Hope everybody's doing it. Whoops. Hope everybody's okay tonight. I mean, one thing about is that his face is stretching like this, and in this pose, his face is a little more like this. So I might need to push some of these features here a little longer. Maybe bring this brow a little higher. Excuse me. These bottom lids can squish. One thing I always forget to do is make another color pot whenever I create like another, like a bit of a tie down. It's not this. I would not consider this a tie down, but I am defining it a bit more. Got a nice stretch, a nice long stretch. Ah! Hey, Mike's Quest, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Thank you. I don't have a very fancy stream. I know a lot of people have all the doodads running in front of their screen. I don't have time for that kind of stuff. And by time I mean just figuring out how to do it. So I don't have all the cool doodads. And if I ever was to make them, I would refer to them as doodads. Stick lords, is this a raster layer? Do you mean it's a bitmap layer? Yes, it's a bitmap layer. Oops. Yes, this is a bitmap layer. Do you just rough out in bitmap? Yeah, I generally like to do my rough animation on bitmap layers. I already have, so this is just a tie down phase. Excuse me, this is not a tie down phase. This is still rough animation, but in my last week's stream I went ahead and did just some rough basic keys of what I want them to do. And now I'm just trying to find a bit of a model, really. So I don't really consider these drawings to be very tight. I'm just trying to figure out his model so that I know what he looks like. Which is a big part of it. You gotta know what you're drawing in the first place. And this is the first I've ever... Well, it's not the first, but... This character is kind of new, so I don't really know his ins and outs. So this is kind of me exploring a little bit. I wanted to spend more time on it this weekend, but I was busy working on a new harmony tutorial that will post on my YouTube channel this Friday. So you don't bother with model sheets. Of course I bother with model sheets. In this case, all of this is still very exploratory. I don't really consider any of this final animation by any stretch of the imagination. So, I mean, any of these drawings could be thrown out. So, no, yes, to answer your question, yes, I definitely bother with model sheets, of course. Very important. But, like I said, this is kind of exploratory. Just trying some drawings and seeing what sticks. I know I have the idea. I like this idea of these little rough, you know, scribbles almost. I like the idea here, the energy. I mean, you know, at the top of my stream, I drew this pose twice. This is the second time I drew this pose. But the first time did not have the energy of this one. I didn't like it, so I threw it out. This one has a little bit more. Oh, what's up, Pillowhead? How are you? How you doing, dude? How have you been? Nice. Hanging in there? You in school? You have spring break? My son has spring break this week. He's going to be hanging out with his grandparents a little bit. See how that looks. Trying to find the animation drive? Dude, that makes two of us right now. I really did not have it in me to do this stream, but I'm like, you know what? We gotta power through. And I was a little late. We had a family get together over in Manhattan. And that ran a little late, and the kids went to bed late, you know, it's like one thing after another. So I did not have it in me to do this stream, so I'm once again struggling. I find that Mondays are pretty tough. I know, it sounds like, oh, I have the case of the Mondays, but maybe there's something to that, I don't know. Yeah, I like this straight here against this slightly curved arm. So I do like that, you know what I mean? Like that type of stuff I like, you know? So these sketches will certainly play into that. So Glen Keane do a demo like this. Still kind of amazing how you just go ahead freestyle like this. Oh, you know, yeah, Glen Keane first off. I had the fortune of being able to see him speak live at in Brooklyn. Let me think. Was it 2 years ago? It was right when Duet had come out, and it was an amazing speech. Really interesting get together. You know, one of the things that struck me most about listening to Glenn Keane speak is like he doesn't take no for an answer, and he finds ways. He's a problem solver, and he won't stop until he solves the problem. And one of the cases in point was, so it was Duet, and as you guys know, may or may not know, Duet was made for you know, like Android and iOS. So he was trying to demonstrate to the audience how it would work. So he had an overhead projector, and he had taken the camera off of the overhead projector, and he was up there with the assistant trying to wrangle. I don't like that. I don't like this. He was up there with the assistant trying to wrangle to get the overhead projector camera to look at the screen as if we were looking at it, like on the showing it to the entire crowd, and it just wasn't working. And you could tell the assistant was getting a little bashful, but damn it, he was doggedly pursuing and just wasn't backing down, and he wasn't stressing. And I remember just thinking to myself, that's it, that's the juice right there. That is what separates him from the pack, because he's able to look at a problem and not panic and try and problem solve. And that was, I know that doesn't sound like much in the way of animation, but I looked at his work ethic. You know, I was like, this is the type of work ethic that led him to be able to do that type of work. So it was a really inspiring speech. I think about it a lot. You have a day off, he said, Pillowhead. I do not. I will be going to the city tomorrow for a meeting. The plus side is I get to play the Switch on the bus. That's always a plus. Let's push this a little bit more. So I'm looking at these shapes right here, this volume on the forehead, and I know it's supposed to stretch here, but I think I stretched it just a tad bit much. His head got a little fat. It's alright. So again, these are, these drawings you know, like look at this and look at this one. Where is it? Like, look at this drawing here. You know. There's certainly something appealing about this. Where I got like, there's cheekbones, and you gotta work in your car to figure out why it won't go up hills. Did you put gas in it? But there's certainly something appealing about this that I'm losing in this. Some of it is the eyes. So maybe I can make them a little more heavier lidded. I mean, that certainly helps. I like a hawkish nose here. I have a bit of that going on here. I mean, the placement here between the eye, the corner of the eye and the nostril, so there's a bit of room for a cheek in there. Or there's not much room for a cheek in here, so that means that maybe... Well, even though, again, like the idea of this frame is the head is stretching this way, and in this drawing the head is stretching, squashing this way. Where did you see, Sticklords, where did you see Glenn do that demo? Was it live or online someplace? He's got a ton of online demos. Oh, excuse me. Cortana woke up. Oh god, it's 11:20. What time is it? Alright. I'll hang for a little bit longer, guys. So this is what we got going on here for anybody who just joined in. So we have a wizard here. These are some very rough sketches. Does a little bit of an incantation and so that's where we're going, and we're building out his model now. Sticklords asked earlier on if I don't use model sheets, but I'm kind of considering this part of the process of the model sheet. What I think I might do eventually is take some of these drawings and make them into a bit more of a formal model sheet that I can then reference over and over and over again. But again, all of these drawings, even if I do want to take this drawing and chucking it, throwing it out, all that information is inside of my head, you know what I mean? So it's, I will use it, I will reference it, and it will just make the piece stronger. So it was online somewhere, it may have been on YouTube video, yeah, I'm sure it was. There's tons of stuff with Glenn, tons of great stuff. I tried to go up to the stage and I just wanted to shake the guy's hand, you know, but he kind of got bum rushed. Let's look at one of these poses down here. Let's see what we can get here. Where he's kind of, you know, down here he's a little low, his shoulders are up. And I wanted his rib cage to be kind of svelte. He's a svelte guy. Change this to onion skin by drawing. Thank you. And now I'm just going to compare actually the sizes of these drawings. You can tell already they're wrong. They're off. Scale it down a little bit. And actually, let's even switch back to my lighter blue. Kind of want him to be hunched over a little bit. And the shoulders are up. His hand is casting a spell. This one's holding his staff. And the head is down. And here's that belt line, and here's his little pouch of monster parts. Hey, I've learned how to lip sync using model sheets because the program anime doesn't support import sound. What are you using that doesn't import sound? Clip art, or what's it called? Oh, for God's sake, help me out here. Clip Studio, right? What is your upcoming tutorial on? More circle and triangle. So circle and triangle is a short. If you Sticklords, if you watched some of that, that was a short I was working on, and it's by and large finished. I'm actually pretty happy with how it came out. It's only 30 seconds long. But right now, I don't feel it's in a place to show anybody. I'm going to have some audio done. And then tap my brother-in-law. He once upon a time was a audio engineer in his basement, and he helped my brother and I do a lot of the schmoozle stuff back in the day. And he's quite the musician himself. And speaking of musicians, I was able to get secure some rights to some music I was happy to hear about. So I hope to have Circle and Triangle posted to my YouTube channel by the end of this month. The tutorial, the Harmony tutorial, is about if you use Harmony, and you use the deformers and legs, you know that it's kind of difficult to have the legs planted in the ground. So I have a tutorial on how to plant the feet, as well as some supplemental material. I have an animation demonstration and harmony scene files that I will post up in my Gumroad. So Sticklords, keep an eye out for that stuff on my YouTube channel if you can. If you're interested. If you're not interested, don't worry. But on this Twitch page where you are, you can see a link to my tutorials. A playlist. Let's get back to this guy. Maybe his eye line is like slightly below. Okay, so what I don't like already. Clip Studio Paint doesn't import sound? Is that an animation program though? My understanding of it was that it had limited animation to it. It had a timeline. I mean, sort of similar to how Photoshop has a timeline. I have Clip Paint. I have Clip Studio on my Surface. Sticklords, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see that when Circle and Triangle is posted officially. Hopefully by the end of the month. I have some freelance coming up in next week. Let me see. When does that begin? I think the 24th. So I have 2 weeks here. So that's going to eat into some of my time. Which is kind of a drag. I gotta pay the bills. Oh, cool. Yeah, I don't, IK, yeah, IK really is, it's not amazing in Harmony. It's a bit of a drag to set up. See, I like this straight. Bit of a curve and then a nice curvy. I like that. Let's get back to that. Bit of a curve and a curvy. So let's try and get that into the model. And I can tell already the beard is, if I go forward, the beard is crazy long. And honestly, rather flat. It's a very flat looking beard. It's flattening the figure. I'll have to design it. The other thing too about using nails is you have to use, where is it? So you have to use the IK keyframe, I believe. Yeah, with in order to keep, and I know I screw it up every time. It takes me forever, a lot of trial and error. Because if you still use the nails and you put a motion keyframe in there, the feet still have a tendency of shifting up and down, and like you have to use your IK keyframes in order to really nail. So it's like, I mean, what the heck is going on here? But if you use deformers and legs, you do not have that option at all in the first place. You love the beard in that Yelp pose? Thanks, man. I mean, it's okay. It's on the right path. It's on the right path. But, so let's try a little experiment here. I can grab a color here. I can use some red maybe and pull it down a little bit. Maybe a little lighter. And I'll go up on the overlay. Let me pop up in the overlay drawing. Overlay layer. And using some red, you know, it could still have some design to it. You know, right now it's kind of flat. I still don't think I'm doing it any justice. Nice curve against some straights. Straight, straight, straight. And a nice curve. So I mean, that could help, I don't know. No, the comic book making program at one point. And then it evolved where you could do animation. Yes, it's like a cheap version of TV Paint. Yeah, it is cheaper, right? It's only like a $50 or something. Like I said, I have it on the Surface, which I am looking at the Surface right now, and I just rarely ever use it because I have a copy of Harmony on the Surface also. So. Yeah, see, there's something appealing about this shape. And I'm going to have to find a way of well, again, this is about model sheets, isn't it? So this is what this is all about. Let me see, guys. I have about 4 minutes left in me. And then sleep, sleep, sleep. Maybe his lips are kind of... Oh, whoops. This would definitely come down much lower. So this could be a little more bent. This. And maybe these are actually kind of hanging down. And this is drawing number 1. Our magical wind has not picked up yet. Get these shoulders nice and... And I'm not happy at all with this head. Goodbye. Goodbye, head. Let's try and find that pelvis. Not pelvis. What is this thing called? A rib cage. Pointy chin and an ear coming off. Once upon a time he was a young man and he had a pointy chin. And just looking down. This is the eye line. The eyes would go. The eyes would dip below the eye line. Because we look if he's looking down. Take that brim and bring it down a bit more too. Kind of really maybe challenge the challenge his eye line, challenge his eyes. It's a little better. Maybe this is dipping a bit more too. Alright, that could work. Whoops, I'm saving. Krita. Yeah, I've heard of Krita. Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely invested in Harmony, that's for sure. It's a pretty deep program. It does everything I kind of need to do and then some, so it's hard for me to justify looking elsewhere. Okay, that could work. Alright. Well guys, I think I'm going to have to pack it up. It's almost midnight my time here. It's 11:36. So I'm going to get to bed because I'm going to be up at 6:30. And I'm going to sign off now. Thank everybody for joining me as usual. And I'm going to switch over to my links. If you are watching the recording of this, you'll see some links to subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Twitter and Tumblr and all those other great places. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope everyone has a great week and see you soon.